Hello, welcome to News Center. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Ola Electric is back in the spotlight. The company has offered to replace the front fork arm of 2 lakh scooters, even as the company maintains there is no problem with the vehicle. The offer comes in the light of accidents involving Ola Electric scooters and safety complaints on social media. The company is refusing to call it a recall, saying it's a voluntary move, and concerns over the safety of front fork arm are unfounded. However, government sources are seeking an explanation from Ola on the latest move and the details on the scale of the exercise as well. CNBC-TV18 has learned that the Ministry of Road Transport had directed Ola to explain and investigate complaints relating to the front fork arm and other safety features 3 months ago. Joining me now is the Ola management, Arun Kumar, Chief Financial Officer at Ola Electric, and BVR Subbu, board member at Ola Electric and also an auto industry veteran. Thank you very much for joining us. Arun, if I can begin with you, we found a contradiction in the statement that was put out and is pinned to the Ola Electric Twitter handle right now. On one hand, you say that there were concerns in the Ola community about the safety of the front fork arm. We assure you that is unfounded. Then in the last paragraph, you say that to alleviate any concerns that you or any community members may have, we are giving an option to customers to upgrade to the new front fork free of cost. Why make it optional, and why this contradiction?
Yeah, I think firstly, it's very important to appreciate that we are a company that invests very heavily in technology and safety of the customers, right? The safety quality of the product is of primary importance, and customer delight is of equal importance to us, right? Having said that, we have a interesting and unique technology of a single front arm fork that is absolutely safe, and we have enough margin of safety. And while certain accidents have happened and the fork has given in during the accident, which is sort of normal in an accident situation. However, given that the issue has been played out on the social media, and given the feedback of our loyal customer base, right, we have increased the margin of safety. We already had about 45% margin of safety, which is very, very good, and we have increased it to 80%. And hence, for those who want even more comfort or in the mind or a perception, we have gone ahead and offered an alternative that you can have a free replacement. So it is not mandatory, it's not a recall. There is no safety issue or a design issue. It's a pure option in the interest of customers to pay back to our loyal customers, to delight them. And we are always a technology conscious, quality conscious, safety conscious company. We keep making it better.
But Arun, when it comes to the front fork arm, it connects the tire, the wheel, the axle with the body of the vehicle. This is an important safety feature. Either there is a problem with it or there is not. Why are you offering an upgrade? Why should a safety feature actually be optional? So are you vouching for the safety of each and every front fork arm, each and every scooter that you've sold in the last 1.5 years? Are you trying to say that all the 2 lakh customers that you have so far, they don't need to get it changed?
See, as I have mentioned, Parikshit, we are very, very conscious and invest a lot in safety and technology. For instance, what you might not know, but all our customers probably know and the market knows in general, is that we are the first company who is qualified under the new battery safety standards and have got our certification from the homologation authority. That's how proactive we are in technology and safety. And hence, it's very clear, the release says that there is no design safety issue or fault. It is an upgrade of the front fork arm. And for those customers who want to get upgraded with a higher margin of safety in the upgraded one, which we have launched into the market sometime in January, they are free to come to our centers and get it replaced free of cost. So it's a very, very clear example of being proactive to the customers. And in fact, I think such a step is rare and needs a certain level of appreciation by the community, by the industry, and and by very responsible media like yourselves, rather than any other aspect being attributed to it. There will always be certain Western interests,
Arun,
competition,
I'll get it, Mr.
otherwise.
Subbu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it, Mr. Subbu, at this point. Mr. Subbu, as an industry veteran, safety is of utmost importance. Why should we go by customer perception? The company knows the vehicle the best. And as per the recall law, the recall regulations of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, if there is an issue, then the companies have to inform the government. There is also a voluntary recall code of the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers. So, number one, Mr. Subbu, was SIAM informed that, yes, we are going for this voluntary recall? And number two, was the government informed of this exercise?
When, Parikshit, to put the matter very squarely, when we discussed it at the board, how this came about is very simple. Does this qualify for a recall? No. I mean, the numbers were so minuscule, because the recall, as you know from the government, has, stipulates a certain minimum number of failures before you actually take on and say, okay, this is you change it, and that's called recall. The situation in this case is much, much lower. It's a fraction of that fractional number itself. In such a situation, what should you do? Was the kind of question that the board kind of looked at. And the Ola management said that since we've already gone through with it, I think we can extend it. So we said, yeah, I think it makes sense to offer it to anyone who has who wants to really wants that so-called peace of mind factor to come over and get it changed. Let's try and see where this thing starts from. When you are, for the first time in this country, building or designing an electric vehicle from ground up,
but Mr. Subbu,
you do a lot of optimization, okay? And you do, that is what we did. We've got global standards
Mr. Subbu,
on, yeah. Sorry.
Mr. Subbu,
yes?
my only concern, you said that you're leaving it to the customers to decide. How can you leave that to a customer to know whether he should be going for that upgrade or not? Now, this is not a software upgrade. It is a safety feature. How does he know whether it's up to the mark? And why should he go for the new one?
Parikshit, that's what I'm trying to say. Intrinsically, it is a safe design, a safe manufacturing process with clearly established standards for performance. That is very clear. Yet there have been failures. Yes, there have been failures. How small is the failure? The number of failures is a very, very small fraction of that cutoff that you have before you start a recall. So if the recall says 1%, and this is a fraction of that 1%, and still you decide that you want to, offer it to customers, it is more a proactive a level of confidence that the company is actually displaying in its design and its product. I think you should see it slightly differently. There's one way of looking at it, and there's another way of looking at it. So you can say that, it's why have you done it? We have done it in spite of the fact that it doesn't qualify for a recall. The number of failures do not qualify for a recall today. Finished. Despite that, we have gone ahead and done it. Why?
Arun?
Because we believe that it may be a good thing for customers. I can recall many, many years back a very similar situation that Hyundai India faced with its ECUs. We did it in Calcutta for 30, 40 customers, and then said, anyone else in Calcutta wants it, then we extend across the country. It wasn't a design fault. But you proactively go. There was
I'll get Arun at this point. Okay, Arun, I'll again ask you this question. We had put this to Mr. Subbu. Did you inform SIAM? Did you inform the government?
Yeah, as Mr. Subbu also clarified, there is no requirement. It's not a recall, and you need not inform the government if it is not a recall. Right? That's very clear, and I don't know about.
All right, Arun. We also got to know
informing anybody. There's no such law, to the best of my understanding. So government is absolutely relevant.
No, there is SIAM has a voluntary recall model.
Yeah, we've done the voluntary recall
Also,
last year, if you
what I want to
recollect,
also ask you, Arun,
in one such, in a situation of the
Okay.
battery. But, we are clear on what the process is, Parikshit, and we know it quite well. There is no such requirement to inform to multiple agencies other than the Government of India if it is a recall.
So if the number is well
okay,
below
Arun, the
what
other
the
thing
government
which we
regulates,
got to know, right?
if the number is
How
well
many
below
such
what
complaints
the
are there,
government,
Mr. Subbu?
yeah, can I say? I said
How many such
very simple.
complaints?
How many such complaints? I can't remember. I don't remember what, but we saw a number in the board meeting. I think it was below the three-digit mark. That's what I recall from the board discussions. It was below the three-digit mark. Now, three-digit, less than the
Okay.
three-digit mark means it's in
And,
double digits. That's what I remember. Or over maybe what, 2 lakh vehicles, or 1,80,000 vehicles, 1,90,000 vehicles. So
and
what do you do
pretty
in
much
such a situation?
all of them are.
Okay, Arun.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Arun, we also heard that 3 to 4 months ago, the Ministry of Road Transport had received a lot of complaints about the front fork arm, about safety issues with the Ola Electric scooter. They had asked for comments, for an investigation from Ola Electric into all this. What happened to that probe? Did you finally submit a report to the government? What was your response?
There is no such inquiry. It is a very, I think, mischievous implant into your office. So I don't know where that comes from. See, Parikshit, the larger
So you're saying
picture,
that,
I think you have to understand very clearly, and we have spoken about it in the past. This is a revolution being played. It's a one-in-a-lifetime revolution, the electric revolution. And there are all such, blown up incidents at times, and, the false information that you're receiving. It's quite safe. And we should be called out for being a positive example of how we react in the interest of the customer, even though it's absolutely not required to do this. And as Subbu said, it's a very minuscule, a very, very minuscule, very much within the statistical norms, very much with clear headroom, and it's only gotten better. So I think this is a new standard which others should follow, Parikshit, which is really what you should propagate.
But Arun, at the same time, are you saying that there has been no correspondence with the government, with the MORTH, on the issue of vehicle safety, on the issue of front fork arm over the last 3 to 4 months?
Parikshit, I have answered that question. So I do not know what the motivation of asking it again is, but it's very clear, no from our side.
Okay. And even after this press release or this statement went out on Twitter, you've not informed the government about what you're doing?
Parikshit, we are living a very responsible cycle of a responsible OEM aiding the electric revolution. As I earlier told you, we are the first company to get our products homologated under the new battery safety standard. So we are doing absolutely the right thing for the customer and in the interest of the consumer and in setting new benchmarks for the industry. So do leave it to us in terms of fulfilling our responsibilities of keeping the right stakeholders informed at the right time. And do not interpret this on our behalf, Parikshit. Thank you.
Okay, but this is an issue which deals with customer safety. It's not a software feature which is being upgraded or changed. This is a very interesting and critical part of the scooter, and it relates to customer safety. And of course, there are so many companies which are going for the recall policy. So tomorrow, others can also follow the same example. Arun, we're going to take a short break. I'll request Mr. Subbu and Arun Kumar to continue being with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are in discussion with Arun Kumar, Chief Financial Officer at Ola Electric, and BVR Subbu, Board Member at Ola Electric. Mr. Subbu, let me begin with you now. Again, to the issue of how do you give confidence to the customer? On one hand, you're saying the product is absolutely fine. On the other hand, you're saying that there have been concerns, there have been accidents, and we can make this upgrade free of cost. How does a customer get confidence when the company speaks like this? And in case tomorrow there is an accident, like there have been accidents involving the front fork arm and vehicle breakage as a result, who would be accountable in a situation like that if tomorrow there is an accident because of this issue?
When you say accident, it means something to do with, either extraneous factors, not necessarily to do with the vehicle per se. Okay, in circumstances like accidents, even the best engineered cars have known to cause fatalities. So let's keep that aside. What happens with customers? Customers come up, let's say, and say that, I've got this vehicle, it's working perfectly, and I have no problem with it. But yes, unfortunately, there is the reality that we face today is in social media, you get mountains being made out of molehills. Now, in such circumstances, what do? You tell customers there is no problem, but if you still are not, still want to think, go ahead, change it. We are convinced, we are confident that the design of the product is fine. It meets all norms. It has met the norm. We have added significant safety margins in our design, and it is performing very well over 2 lakh vehicles. Now, in such circumstances, however, because of all this media buzz that is created, if there are people who do get influenced, how do you relate to them? The best way of telling them is, okay, don't worry. If you think there's some problem, come and change it. That there can be no more effective way of dealing with consumers' concerns. Telling them, why are you concerned? Even before your concerns, come, I'll change it for you. I think it's perfectly all right. Now, isn't that the way to look at it? If suppose it had to be with your television, let's say, and then there was something coming up with saying, okay, there's a spot coming up on the screen on some case, and it's been blown up on social media. What happens in such circumstances? You come back and says, the television company comes back and says, okay, I'll replace the screen for you. Now that's a very forward-looking approach to take with consumers. And I think that is where when the management proposed this to the board was overwhelmingly in support of the management for this. Because there is no better, more definitive statement of confidence in the product and its design and its engineering and its build quality than to say, why are you worried? Even if you're worried, come, change it. How much better can you get than that? This is the reality. See it like that.
Mr. Subbu, another question that I have, how, even for example, me or any customer for that matter, the statement from the company says, as part of our continuous engineering and design improvement, we've recently upgraded the front fork design to enhance the durability and strength even further. Now, how does a customer gauge whether his scooter is structurally sound?
Let me explain that also.
Yeah. And
any engineering
one additional point that,
Sorry. In engineering, automotive engineering, typically what happens is all improvements are gradual and consistent. So you have a version 1, you have a version 2, you have a version 3, and it goes on. This kind of a development, this kind of improvements are very normal in the automotive industry. So you may start with saying that I would like to have this. Then you find that there are new materials coming up in the marketplace. So you try to improve new metallurgies and incorporate new metallurgies into your product. You find that there are new approaches to design, for instance. You try and incorporate those. All this is a constant endeavor to actually improve, customers' confidence in the product and the reliability and durability of the product. That's the reality. You don't make changes only to cut costs. That is the intention. The intention is to say that we are going ahead. We have made something good. We were making it better. And that is a continuous process. I mean, the Japanese have a wonderful name for this continuous improvement. It's that process that you have.
Mr. Subbu, so is the Ola board and the management today saying that all the 2 lakh vehicles or over 2 lakh vehicles sold till now are sound, and none of these customers really need an upgrade or a component change per se. All these vehicles are structurally sound, and the company and the board vouches for each vehicle. This change is actually not required. It is only to counter a social media perception.
That is the issue. I'm not saying it's to counter social media perception, but it is a media created by social media, a rampant proliferation of social media. The board, when the management brought these things out, the details out to the board, and had said to the board that this is what we are looking at, this is how we are looking at it, we said that it was very proactive and they should go ahead with it. There is an absolute confidence that of the management and therefore of the board in the process that is being followed, whether in the integrity of design or in the integrity of materials or in the integrity of the manufacturing process. I mean, there are 3 of us on the board who are
Arun,
hardcore automotive guys. So, we would ask questions like this typically. And so that, some of these things come out from, old gray-haired, no-haired people like us who actually come out and say, why not? So this is the kind of thing that I think should be looked at in a slightly different perspective. Maybe the wording was of the missive by the community, by the company was, may have led to confusion. I don't know. But I think the intention of the management was this. It came up to the board, and the board was completely in support of this approach.
Okay, Arun, my final question to you. Again, I would want a specific answer to this, because the press release says that we have over 2 lakh happy customers, and we're doing this for the safety and for the confidence of the customers. So, would you say that these customers don't need to worry? They don't need to call up the call center and go for a component change at all? And number 2, when all these accidents happened, when these complaints came in, what did all your internal investigations really lead to? Also, we know that from January onwards, there is a new front fork arm which is being installed in all scooters. The older one was given for scooters manufactured between October 2021 and December 2022. Why has this component now changed? What is better in the new front fork arm which is being given to customers now?
See, Parikshit, as I mentioned earlier, our whole endeavor is to constantly, continuously improve things, right? Because we are absolutely technology-focused company, deep engineering-focused, and the safety of the customers at the center, and quality, most importantly. So this is part of the continuous improvements that Mr. Subbu just mentioned. So we are focusing on one of them. There are 20 other continuous improvements that we are doing. Wiring harnesses are getting better. Our electronic designs are getting better. The software is getting better. We're using different materials in plastic that will be even more durable. These are all parts of continuous improvement. Even the paint tonality gets better, right? The way we manufacture gets better. So many things contribute to continuous improvements, and this is part of that category of improvements. We have absolutely raised the game and absolutely raised the standard of how companies should react and not have technical limitations. And which is why we encourage that these kind of continuous improvements, even when there is misplaced, as Mr. Subbu mentioned, in the social media, it's been accentuated, yet it is important to give customers a more elevated sense of peace of mind, especially in an industry where a revolution is happening and a new kind of penetration is happening, where the iScooters are being phased out today. Conversion has reached 35% of, so 1 in 3 scooters being sold in the top 15 cities of this country is now an electric scooter.
Okay.
And we shouldn't
Arun, we've completely run out of time.
Yeah, and my last point is we shouldn't play to this efforts of stopping this revolution. And this is a new standard for one to follow, Parikshit. So we really feel highly responsible.
Okay, we've run out of time.
And make
Arun,
the customer happier is the bottom line.
Okay, but still it doesn't really answer 2 or 3 of our questions as to why customers should be going for this. How should they get confidence from the statement that the company has issued? Why should a safety feature like a front fork be optional when it comes to a product upgrade? And what's really better in the upgraded product which is going into scooters being manufactured now? Those are some of the unanswered questions. But thank you very much, Arun, Kumar and Mr. Subbu, for joining us and clarifying some doubts that Ola customers may have. Thanks once again for being with us.